Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been watching the 2026 World Cup, you know things have gone absolutely off the rails. It has been a wild ride. Today, we're breaking down the shocking tactical shifts that are completely defining this tournament. We've pulled the hard data, crunched the numbers, and we're bringing in expert analysis to help you make sense of all this madness on the pitch. So, we gotta start with the elephant in the room, the massive question everyone is asking. Is the traditional football elite dead? For decades, right, there's been this lingering assumption that historic pedigree basically guarantees you a deep run in a major tournament. But this World Cup has completely shattered that idea. The numbers don't lie, and we really have to ask ourselves if the old guard is finally giving way to a totally new world order in international football. Section 1. The Rise of Underdogs, Redefining the Hierarchy. Here's the crucial takeaway for you. The gap between football's established heavyweights and emerging nations has literally never looked smaller. According to Tactical Football Analysis, what we're witnessing right now is that physical intensity, tactical flexibility, and collective organization are massively outweighing individual reputation. These underdog teams, they aren't just showing up to pack the box and pray for a draw. They're showing up with highly organized tactical masterclasses designed specifically to neutralize global superstars. And this wasn't just some overnight fluke either. Right from match day 1, those elite assumptions were getting heavily challenged. But the real turning point, the moment the Giants really started sweating, hit in the round of 32. I mean, 4-time champions Germany, completely knocked out by Paraguay on penalties. And right alongside that, you had the reigning world champions Argentina, pushed to the absolute brink, needing extra time just to survive against tournament debutants Cape Verde. These upsets, they're not flukes. It's a developing trend. Section 2. The Tactical Secret Revealed. Defending as an Attacking Weapon. 209. Seriously, let that number sink in for a second. That staggering figure is the amount of forced turnovers Gustavo Alfaro's Paraguay led the entire tournament with. They weren't just sitting back and absorbing pressure like you might expect. They were actively, aggressively disrupting play. It just goes to show that intense counterpressing, winning the ball back high up the pitch before the opponent can even breathe, is the ultimate new giant killer. Just look at how systematically they dismantled a powerhouse like Germany in that round of 32 matchup. 59 forced turnovers, 91 possession regains, 59 tackles, 52 blocks. Paraguay outclassed Germany across absolutely every major defensive metric. And here's the craziest part of the whole shebang. They pulled this off while holding only 26% possession. They proved that elite defensive organization isn't about playing passive football anymore. They entirely controlled the game without even having the ball. But hey, it's not just Paraguay executing this masterclass. DR Congo racked up over 85 ball recoveries, pushing England to the absolute limit. Japan recorded over 80 ball recoveries, constantly forcing Brazil into these incredibly uncomfortable build-up sequences. So the big takeaway for the rest of the tournament is this. Teams are completely ditching the passive low block. Instead, they're favoring this highly structured mid-block pressure. They're dictating exactly where and how the elite opponents are even allowed to play. Section 3. Co-hosts crushing it. North America surges forward. You absolutely cannot ignore the momentum of the North American teams right now. Just look at the resume these three have put together. Mexico won all 3 of their group games without giving up a single goal, and now they're heading to the mythical Azteca Stadium. Then you have the U.S. team showing unbelievable grit, grinding out a 2-0 win over Bosnia even while playing with 10 men after Folarin Balogun's red card. And Canada? They're making history, keeping their run alive thanks to a dramatic late winner sparked by Alphonso Davies. Playing on home soil with those massive crowds behind you is a huge advantage. Never, ever underestimate the 12th man when you're looking at your bracket. Section 4. Giants Surviving Scares, the Elite on the Brink. I mean, Goal.com literally called it the mother of all scares. And honestly, hit the nail right on the head. That is exactly what Argentina went through against Cape Verde. The reigning champs looked incredibly heavily reliant on Lionel Messi to bail them out. By the time they finally squeezed through extra time in that brutal Miami heat, they looked physically and emotionally totally drained. A more ruthless team, they might not have let them off the hook. You can literally track the panic attacks across the entire bracket. First, you've got England trailing DR Congo until the 75th minute, leaving Thomas Tuchel staring right at a disaster class before Harry Kane saves the day. Then, Belgium was actually down 2-0 to Senegal with just 4 minutes left on the clock. It took a literal heated on-pitch argument between Yuri Tielemans and Leandro Trossard to spark a miraculous comeback. And Brazil?
trailing Japan at halftime. It took a desperate, all-out 4-2-4 tactical shift from Carlo Ancelotti just to survive. The elite are surviving, sure, but the armor is heavily dented.
Section 5. The Supercomputer's Prediction. Who wins it all? So, with all this absolute chaos, what do the numbers actually say? Well, the data here paints a very clear picture. France is the undisputed favorite, sitting super comfortably at nearly 29%. They're miles ahead of Argentina at 16.32% and Spain at almost 13%. Interestingly enough, Brazil and England have essentially been relegated to outsiders by the supercomputer, both sitting under 10% now. The machine looks at the field and sees one massive outlier. And this quote really sums up exactly why the computer loves them so much. France's forward line is the best in the competition, period. Didier Deschamps' squad looks completely immune to that underdog curse we were just talking about. I mean, with an absolutely unstoppable attack featuring Kylian Mbappé, Michael Olise, and Bradley Barcola, they just swept aside Sweden without breaking a sweat. While everyone else is struggling to figure out high presses and mid-block tactics, France's sheer individual brilliance combined with their rock-solid structural discipline makes them look pretty much unstoppable. But as we head into the round of 16, I've got to leave you with this final thought. In a World Cup where the data itself proves that aggressive pressing can completely dismantle the greatest legacies, and where anyone can truly be beaten on any given day, can a supercomputer really account for the heart of an underdog?